he died. Boom, 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 boom.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, and welcome to Waste of Space, where we analyze aspect ratio usage in cinema one movie at a time. Today we're looking at the 2007 film Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story, which is presented in the aspect ratio of 2:3:9:1. There are two versions of this movie available, rated and unrated. My footage comes from the unrated version, so if you don't recognize something, don't freak out. A parody of musical biopics, Walk Hard features plenty of music, and frame-wise, it features plenty of close-ups and shots of characters. The wide frame makes the most sense in the latter example, which works out because musical performances often involve multiple people. A stage can be easily shown in 2:3:9, and its value doesn't diminish if we zoom in on any of the characters performing. But there's no getting around the fact that the shot choices in this film are often uninventive and unexciting. But considering this is a comedy where dialogue and singing reign supreme, it's excusable, though it did make me wonder why this film was shot in 2:3:9 at all. A wider frame does allow actors to move around a bit more in a scene, but this doesn't really happen all that much. It can make for interesting shots, like this one of Dewey running. But otherwise, I don't know, man, at least I can see Dewey's whole guitar in this shot. But okay, alright, I hear you. You want more specific examples. The 1953 talent show and Leroy's Lounge scenes really show how the frame can be utilized. Both feature a stage with plenty of performances, along with characters watching and interacting with the performances. They also feature moments where the camera follows one character through the environment. Both scenes also feature two characters talking, which is beyond common, but I wanted to mention it anyway. But then you have this scene of Dewey talking to Edith in the kitchen, which starts with this lone shot of Dewey practicing. It's not very exciting shot-wise, but it's a good example of how the film often emphasizes scenes where what matters is the characters interacting and exchanging hilarious dialogue. Though I will say the unrated version features this moment, which makes great use of the ratio, so, yeah. I like the Beatles scene, not just because it's mad funny, but because it uses the 2:3:9 frame pretty well, considering it's mostly just characters talking. Mostly. The LSD sequence is where the widescreen is really put to good use. Heck, it's the most inventive sequence in the whole movie, and really validates the wider frame. As for the second most inventive sequence in the movie, that'll be the first rehab scene, which, like the LSD scene, is unlike any other scene in the movie. The wide frame here also works with the funky distortion and blur, creating an uneasy feeling that reflects Dewey's state of mind. I think the best general use of 2:3:9 in the movie is during Dewey's Brian Wilson period, which is when he's trying to make the best song ever with too many musicians and he's taking PSP and the band quits and his wife leaves him and he has a beard. You kind of get it all here. Whole groups of people in a studio, Dewey bouncing on a trampoline with a lot of space, which I actually liked because it's like he's not in the shot half the time. It's just, I don't know, it's interesting, you know. Thanksgiving, the band yelling at him, both grouped together and individually, and Dewey going crazy. It's at this point I may have to admit defeat. Walk Hard is a hilarious movie with hilarious moments, many of which I can't really share in this video because of how raunchy it is. But it barely has any establishing shots, a lot of scenes are just characters in the frame, and damn it man, look at this shot of Dewey and Edith in the kitchen. Why is the movie like this? Probably because its primary aim is to make us laugh. Your shot composition doesn't have to be perfect, nor does it have to be creative to deliver a dialogue-reliant joke. That said, I was surprised at this one shot from the unrated version where Dewey is freaking out in an alleyway. There's a lot of space here, and I feel it actually serves a purpose. Besides showing the alley and Dewey all alone, it allows for Dewey to have his interaction with Ghost Nate, and for Dewey to later reflect in silence just before going back inside. It's an instance where, at least to me, all that space is justified. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video on Walk Hard and how it utilizes the 2:3:9:1 aspect ratio. And if you didn't enjoy it, that's okay too. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Walk hard. Walk hard. Walk hard.